I experienced it, and it's something that I don't recommend anybody doing because, like I said, I enjoyed myself during those times, but I could have been dead. I did get incarcerated. I did go to jail. I did some time. I miss my family and my girlfriend when I was away. My kids, and stuff like that.
Did you know that 1 in every 12 adults in the US suffers from alcohol addiction? Now, we know that the path to recovery is not a one-size-fits-all type of journey. And in Albert's story, we'll see how his path began. Let's dive right in. When you're a kid, you don't choose the world you grew up in. It's what you inherit. This is Albert, born in Upland, California, and raised during the late 80s and early 90s in a time when many Chicano families were pushed into poor, neglected parts of the city, what Chicanos call barrios. As stability at home broke down, many young people looked to the streets for structure, finding belonging and protection where family systems fell short. What started as survival evolved into gangs, turf wars, and violence. Out of that environment grew a gang subculture with their own codes, colors, and traditions to include art, music, style, and the climb through the ranks to become a cholo. Lowriders, pressed khakis, Nike Cortez, and a clean white tee weren't just a fashion statement to a young Albert. They signaled strength and the respect of those who could stand their own ground. Home offered little refuge. Alcohol was common, and like many kids in an environment like that, Albert learned early on that success in life didn't come from following the rules, it came from watching what worked. And the person he watched the most was already living inside that world, his older brother. Someone who moved the needle in the streets, commanded respect from those around him, and demonstrated without saying much how survival was earned.
But he was, he had that estilo, and that was his Nike Cortezes all the time. He either had 501 Levi's or Frisco Benz or Ben Davis, or no Dickies, or Stanford shirts. Stanford shirts, I remember that. I had his shoes on, and of course my back heel would pop out because they're too big. But he caught me and he pulled me to his room and he's like, "Hey, those are my shoes. What do you do with my shoes?" And I'm like, "Oh shoot, I'm busted now." Man, okay, he's gonna take them off. And he always he looked at me as little brother. He'd always keep all the drugs, money, all the stuff away. He would try to keep it away from me.
He protected you from all that stuff, that lifestyle.
He would do his best to do that, But of course, me being young, I'm very observant, and I caught him, But other than that, the shoes. He sat me down and just told me, you know what, you gotta be yourself, man. Don't ever try to copy anybody or be like anybody else.
Studies show that between the ages of 7 and 12, children begin forming a clear sense of identity. Siblings often become powerful models, sometimes more than parents, especially when home life feels unstable. For Albert, watching his brother wasn't just admiration, it was a blueprint. His identity was being written and patterned by the street codes long before he realized it.
You gotta remember my grandma passed away and my mom's drinking, so she's trying to ease her pain, and so I'd come home, she'd be like, "Mijo," she'd be already buzzed, "Mijo, here, just take a little sip here, just take a little sip." I remember it was Budweiser. I got a picture somewhere I'm like 2 years old on top of my dad's hood with a 12-ounce beer, Budweiser, and sipping on it.
Your mama?
No, me sipping on it.
Oh, you?
I'm wearing Pampers.
Damn, dude.
I got that picture.
Damn.
And
wow.
It's
So you were just really early.
Yes, I was
super early, dude.
Yeah, it ran in my blood, bro. So yeah, that's pretty much. And I was surprised to even that I even found that picture, I told
That's a trip, dude.
I told my girlfriend, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna send you this picture. She's like, who's that? And I'm like, that's me. She's like, what? And I'm like, yeah, I started
In
drinking at an
diapers.
early age. You know, she's like, that's how we do it in the Hernandez family, you know? But
So did your mom, growing up as a child, did you watch your mom or your dad drink at all, or?
my dad was an alcoholic. He was an alcoholic. He don't drink no more.
Was it like a 6-pack, or was like, you're talking about he has 40s every day?
No, he would have to have, like, even going to work, he would have to have like a 12-pack. And
Before work?
yeah, before work and after work.
In a house where the sounds of bottles opening was just another way of coping with every day, Albert longed for his way out. One day his neighbor, who was only a few years older, handed him his first joint. Albert was only 11, but for him weed wasn't just a thrill, but a way to quiet the storm he felt inside.
I'm like, nah, I'm okay. He's like, here, man, don't be a punk. Just try it. So
Yeah.
I was pretty much peer pressuring.
Yeah.
So I did it, and I tried it, and I loved it. And ever since then, I just started smoking weed, and I was a pothead. I was a pothead, and I loved it, you know, and not that instant, like I didn't have no connections or anything like that. And
So you were as early as 10, started selling around 13, 14,
yeah,
hustling, and
yeah, I was hustling.
as Albert began to navigate his teenage years, weed became his refuge, a way to escape the pressures of home. It's important to note that this narrative isn't about glorifying his choices, but rather highlighting the reality of his journey.
Like my parents got a divorce in Montclair, and then I flew to Texas to stay with my uncle, and then a month passed, and then months were going by, and I'm like, why can't I go back with my family? Like, then my dad called me. He would be like, mijo, you know me and your mom separated, right? And I'm like, what? That broke my heart, you know. So they separated, and they're like, do you know who you want to live with? And I'm like,
He threw the ball at you?
yeah, do you? And then I was like, yeah, I told him, with you. I told him, because my mom was drinking, you know, and then she was, and I was young, you know, and I was like, man, what am I gonna do, you know? Because I love them both, you know? So I was like, they made me shoot. Well, they didn't make me, but my mom said, no, you're not going with your dad. Your dad's an alcoholic, and he's a drug addict, and he's not gonna take care of you right. Then I'm like, nah. So my brother, because my brother is all, and this is all over the phone, like, you need to go with my mom. Because my brother already knew, my brother and my dad used to smoke weed together. So pretty much, they knew the deal. And like, they didn't want me to get caught up in the mess, so you need to go with my mom. So I listened to my brother. And of course, I realized that my mom did need me in her life, you know? Because I'm a baby and she's my mom.
When parents fight over custody, children are often forced to choose who they want to live with, a decision no child should ever have to make. All too often, many internalize a heavy burden, blaming themselves or worrying they weren't good enough to keep the family together. Research shows this isn't rare. Nearly a third of all children report self-blame in the first years after divorce. And those children struggle more with self-worth, anxiety, and behavioral problems. Kids who carry self-blame often report a lower quality of life, especially when parental conflict continues. For a child, divorce doesn't just split a home, it fractures their sense of belonging. Home splits in half, family into two sides, and the child becomes a traveler between two worlds.
The reason I really got into drinking was because at 14 I was tagging and smoking bud, and I was drinking and smoking bud, but not drinking as much. I was just more of a bud smoker, you know. And
So you did graffiti as well?
Yeah,
You were throwing bombs or
yeah.
pieces?
Well, not. I was more tagging.
Just tagging?
Tagging
Okay.
up my name, you know.
Oh, got it.
You know, and I got busted for that. I did time in Waterman in juvenile hall. I only did like a week. They claimed that it was me, and I told them that it wasn't, but it was. And then, you know, we all know the role that, you know, how that plays out. And they caught me. So I think I was 14, and I think I was 15, 14. Around that age, and I had all that, you know, planned out and good, because I knew first of all, my PO, when I go visit my PO, when it was time to visit my probation officer, she was gonna drug test me, and I would be clean, but I'd still have my fun, you know what I mean, with beer, wow, with alcohol, you know, so I'd enjoy.
Wait, so they were just testing for weed at the time, but not alcohol?
No, because they didn't know I drank, because that's where I started like picking up, really like drinking, like every day, you know what I mean?
Damn, dude.
Before, I was just more of a bud smoker, and if occasionally I wouldn't really drink. I would probably have a soda or something. I wouldn't drink. But other than that, like yeah, so that's pretty much what happened. But whenever those guys that I kept on asking if they could buy me, you know, I'll give them money if they can get it for me. They're like, hey man, you're too much, man. You need to start paying some money now, man. I mean, what are you gonna do for me if I get you the beer? I can't go to jail. And I'm like, nah, I don't want you to go to jail, man. Just do it this one last time then. So after that, I'm conniving, you know, I'll pay you next time, man. All right. So I find another liquor store.
Yeah.
So I went from one liquor store to another liquor store around the hood, you know, around the area, you know.
Yeah.
And just find people, you know. It became like that till I hit 21.
As Albert found himself facing the reality of probation, the rules of the system had a strange loophole. Because he was only tested for weed, he turned to alcohol as a substitute. What started as a workaround quickly turned into a daily habit. In a strange twist, the very system meant to keep him in check nudged him deeper into addiction. But that wasn't where it ended. By the time he was 15, another friend introduced him to meth. One substance led to another, and what began as a loophole soon spiraled into a deeper struggle with addiction.
I think this is when I lived in Rancho, and I had to take the bus back to Chaffee, Chaffee High School. This was before I got kicked out of Chaffee. So I can barely remember, but other than that, when I went downstairs with him to this, I guess, and they called him Red. He had red hair, of course, and long beard, and he's like, come in, man, you guys hurry up. Nobody saw you guys. And me and the homie, we dressed the same, all creased down and everything. And we go in there, and I just seen this guy open up a little refrigerator, and he had like it was like a plate, like this big, like a deep plate, so like, you know, like a pan. And it was a lot of white powder in there, you know. And he opened up a baggie and he put like a lot, and he gave my friend a glass pipe. And I was watching them make one after that with the incense burners. You know, in those days they were used as incense for fragrance. You just open the cap and you just put it on your car so your car could smell good.
Oh yeah, I remember those.
You know, and they would just blow it up, put the torch on there at the tip, blow on it till a hole pops up in the top. Blow it up, you know. And he gave us that one too. And we went upstairs to his pad, and we sat on the floor against the couch. And he did it first, and he's like, "Let me show you how to do it." You know, put it to my mouth. He's like, "Just don't hit it till you twist it," you know. And I was introduced to meth right there.
Albert grew up into a young man mirroring the behaviors he grew up with. In fact, research shows that teens who begin drinking before the age of 15 are 4 times more likely to develop a substance use disorder later in life. And research also suggests that when parents or close family members struggle with alcohol or drugs, their children are at a higher risk of following the same path. It's a cycle that can be hard to break.
since young to like the age of 22 or maybe 18 around or 19, I believe. I always knew about God and everything, you know, and it was just that I wasn't perfect, you know. I went through my trials and tribulations, and I believe it's just part of life that we learn. Some of us learn, some of us don't want to open our eyes and see that there is a way out of these negativity things that we run into or bump into or we grow up in.
After high school, Albert made a brief move to Texas where he managed to find sobriety from meth. Looking in the mirror, he saw a shell of himself, and despite his challenges with alcohol, he knew meth was something he couldn't continue.
You know, and the way I stopped doing meth is by looking in the mirror, and I think because I was deeply involved, I was deeply doing it a lot when I was a teenager, you know. But at the age of 19, I think that going towards my 19th, I was kind of like stopping because I believe there was a point in my life where I looked in the mirror and I didn't see myself anymore. It was a skeleton. I didn't see Albert. I seen somebody that was losing their mind, that was thinking immature things, and I lost myself. You know, I completely lost myself to. I was dumbfounded. You know what I mean? Lukewarm, and blind to the things, you know, that were positive of this world. You know, the good things. You know, I didn't get to enjoy none of that. You know, like be myself, be real to myself, be real to others. You know, have more respect within myself, you know, and just know that there's better things out there, you know, than just partying and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And which I think that's where all the stuff that clicked in. I would read through the Bible, and the Bible would teach me, like, you know, well, you don't have to prove yourself to nobody. You prove yourself to yourself that you can do it, you know. I've been clean off of meth for I think 32 years.
Congratulations, man. That's awesome, dude.
I believe. Thank you, man. Thank you.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome to hear.
I just had to tie up my balls, man, and just you know that real is real and fake is fake, you know. And especially like I said earlier, you know, nowadays it's things. This generation is changing, and drugs are changing for the worse, not for the good. So like drugs are no good, man. Just period, you know. And you know, just take it from me, you know, it's just I experienced it, and it's something that I don't recommend anybody doing, because like I said, I enjoyed myself during those times, but I could have been dead. I did get incarcerated. I did go to jail. I did some time. You know, I miss my family and my girlfriend when I was away. You know, my kids. You know, and stuff like that. You know, and it's crazy, man. It's so yeah, drugs are bad, man. There's no good news in that whatsoever. It's always bad news. If it's not bad news, it's a lie.
Despite all the chaos that shaped his past, Albert worked to build something stable. For a moment, it seemed possible. But even after leaving meth behind in Texas and trying to build a new life, his battle with alcohol was far from over. This is where one part closes in Albert's two-part media documentary. As this painting comes into focus, it's a reminder of how families often mirror the patterns of their past. Albert carried the same coping mechanisms he saw growing up, turning to alcohol and the streets when life grew heavy. But what defines him isn't just the struggle he inherited, it's the courage to pursue change. In the next chapter, we'll see how his fight continues. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end and watching Albert's story. In the sequel to Albert's story, we're going to explore how his attempt at building a family eventually left him heartbroken and homeless, hitting rock bottom. So please hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on part 2. Take care.
Mr. Hernandez, I have good news and bad news. Which one do you want to hear? Well, let me go with the bad news. And he's well, first of all, I'm going to give you a mirror so you can see what you look like right now. Look. As I'm looking in the mirror, I'm all bandaged up.
If you would like to take a sneak peek on part 2 of Albert's story, you can watch the trailer by clicking up here. And you can take a look at some of our other guests on the link below. And remember, click on the Painted Allegory logo on the screen to subscribe and stay tuned for more updates.